Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. It's been probably almost 2 years. Sorry about that, it's taken us a little while. But hopefully from now on we'll be making lots of videos. We've got plenty of things planned. So what we're going to be doing is some project videos on stuff that we make and some how-tos on stuff that we already make and we sell in our shop. And we'll also do some how-tos on just general like moulding and casting and things like that, and that's what you can expect. But today I'm going to be talking to you about this. This is the beginnings of a plasmid from Bioshock. So this model was 3D modeled by a guy called Conceptify on Thingiverse, so we'll put that in the link in the description so you can 3D print your own. So we spoke to him and asked him if it was alright that we did this, and he was extra excited, so hopefully we can do something really fun with this. So I'm thinking of actually making the body section clear so that we can put a light in there or something like that, or maybe just, I don't know, just make it look a bit more opaque so it kind of lights up. We don't know yet, we'll see. But this is a hollow model, so I'm going to pull it apart so you can have a look at it a little bit closer, and hopefully we'll keep some of the functionality like the screwing head and things. Let's have a close look. Let's pull this thing apart so you can have a proper look at it. This has all been 3D printed in our normal FDM printer, and this is basically what you get. So it's hollow, and I think they'd put a bit of design work in here so that you can put a light in. I believe if you go on Thingiverse, there's a guide on how to wire this thing up if you just print it normal. So you could print this in some transparent PLA or something, but we're going to be finishing it all off and casting it so that we can change the colour of this section to whatever we want. And then these pieces are all what make up the rest of it. So there's some hooks in here, so you can hook it in the bottom like so. And I think this also holds in, like, you know, battery access and stuff if you were to do it yourself. So that kind of goes like that. And as you can see, we've done a little bit of finish work on it. You need to do a lot more sanding. Then you've got the top section, which just kind of pops on there. Then there's this little bit with a face on. If you've all played Bioshock, you probably remember this thing, this plasmid. And I want to keep the functionality of this screw-in because I kind of like that. That's cool. So we should be able to keep that as a working piece, no problem. And then there's actually 4 of these. I only made 1 because with us casting it, we can duplicate this so that we end up with 4. And that kind of slots in there like that. And head goes on there like so. And then obviously you've got yourself a plasmid. So yes, what we need to do with this thing now is basically get some sandpaper and clean it up. I'm going to show you one of my favourite products for sanding PLA, and it's this stuff. So it's made by 3M, and it's ultra flexible, durable, foldable sandpaper, but it's not really paper, it's like plastic. I love this stuff so much. You can kind of stretch it a little bit and twist it and all that sort of things. It's only rough on one side, smooth on the other, but it's just such a good product for working with PLA, and it's perfect for wet sanding because obviously it's not paper, so it doesn't fall to pieces, and it lasts a hell of a lot longer than standard sandpaper. So I usually use things like this, and these are all the different grits, so it goes from 120 all the way up to 1500, so super smooth, which is great if you want to be doing a really smooth surface. But obviously, you know, wet sanding with this is kind of awkward because eventually it just disintegrates into a puddle of mess. So yes, so what I'm going to do, I've already done a little bit on this one, is just sand it all down so it gets to the point where I'm really happy with it. Because this is going to be clear, I want this particular section to be as smooth as I can get it. So I'm probably going to end up clear coating it with something to get it to the point where it's kind of glossy, so that when we mould it and cast it, the casting surface will be nice and shiny. And like I say, I plan to do this with a clear resin so that I can tint it with the appropriate colours. I've not played the game in a while, but I believe it's supposed to be red. Yeah. And then These sections, again, I'll sand these down, but these don't need to be as perfect and shiny as this. You might see that this has got a bit of a shiny surface, and that's because I've used a product on it called XTC. Because if you've seen 3D printing before, you get like this ringing, and it's basically the steps from the printer. You can sand that out, but you can lose layers, so there's a layer thickness to the print itself, and you don't want to lose too much of that. You can change it in the printer, but then it starts getting heavy, you use more material. So you can smooth it out with a product called XTC 3D. I'll show you that right now, which is this stuff. I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with this stuff. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's terrible. What I've found over the years of using this is that if you've got a model like this, something that's relatively smooth, you can get a decent finish on it. It's sandable, so you know, when you get a finish like this and it's just a flat surface, it's great. But if you've got anything with detail, you'll end up losing that detail. So if I were to use that product on this, you would probably lose the detail around the face and the eyes. It would disappear, and then obviously you would try and sand it back, and then you end up sanding the actual detail away. And I've recently learned of a new way of doing this to get rid of the print lines and whatnot, and that's by using light photosensitive resin, which we do have because we have a resin printer. So in the course of these videos, I'll do these little bits of experimenting because I've not done it yet, but I'll show you how things like this work and how the printer resin works with the ultraviolet, and see what the different results are like. So what I'm going to do now is, like I say, I'm going to go away, I'm going to sand these up, make them all nice and pretty, and then in the next video I will be moulding them. So I'll show you how we go about moulding a project like this, and then the video after that will be casting it. So that's the project, Bioshock Plasmid. So I'm going to go away and sand this up and make it nice and tidy, get rid of all the print lines and get it ready for moulding. And that's what we plan to do with these videos. We're going to split them up into little projects. So like this one, we'll do the introduction of what it is we're going to be doing, how we're going to mould it, and then eventually casting it and finishing it and stuff like that. So yes, if you want to follow along, you can do. Go and download this from Thingiverse, the link will be down there, and yeah, you can maybe improve on what we do or change the way we do it. I think I'm going to go with the original look. There's a few tricks and things we can do with the silver parts. We can use like actual aluminium powder to make it look proper, like proper metal, while making this sort of clear. I think I'm going to try and put a light in it to make it look a little bit better. Maybe just a tea light, nothing fancy. But I'll have to think about how I'm going to get access into this thing without having to glue it up. I know it's got this lacking mechanism, but I might have to change that and get rid of it. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, like I say, for now I'm going to go off and sand this, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.